Well, how come we allow $6 billion a day not to be reported? It ought to be stopped.
And intentionally failing to deliver that stock within the standard 3-day settlement period can be market manipulation that is clearly violative of the federal securities laws.
Which is just stealing is all it is. This is all an example of stealing.
It sounds ominous, it sounds nefarious, and by and large, it's a non-issue in the marketplace.
Is somebody manipulating the shares? What is going on here? It certainly smells bad.
Welcome to this Bloomberg News special report. I'm Mike Schneider. Stock manipulation. It's a problem that dates back to a time when Wall Street was just a wall. Built by the Dutch back in 1653, stood 12 feet high and ran pretty much beneath where I'm standing right now. Over the centuries, investors have learned many tricks to drive stocks both up and down. One of the newest ways to drive them down, and you can make lots of money doing that, is with an obscure Wall Street trading tactic called naked short selling. In a normal short sale, an investor borrows shares and sells them. If the price falls, he profits by replacing those borrowed shares with cheaper ones. But in a naked short sale, an investor fails to deliver the shares because he doesn't borrow them. In extreme cases, he even sells phantom shares, shares that don't even exist. While naked short selling is legal, manipulating markets is not. And regardless of intent, the effect of naked short selling can be the same, driving share prices lower. Our story now begins with a man who has done more to call attention to this problem than anyone else.
There is in place a system. There's an Al-Qaeda, so to speak, a loosely organized group of people who are destroying small companies and looting the savings of America.
Gather around. We're doing our morning meeting this afternoon. Come on in.
Meet Patrick Byrne, the outspoken CEO of Overstock.com, an internet retailer based in Salt Lake City that went public in May 2002. For the past 2 years, Byrne has been complaining that naked shorting has driven down share prices in thousands of small public companies, including his own, by permitting the sale of stock that, in some cases, doesn't exist. From January 2005 to January 2007, Overstock share prices dropped nearly 70%.
It's a really simple concept. When you get to it, you think, what's all the hullabaloo about? It's really basic. There are people selling things and not delivering.
The 43-year-old Byrne, who counts Warren Buffett among his friends, says his troubles began after Overstock reported a profit for the second time in its history in the fourth quarter of 2004.
It is my privilege to welcome Overstock.com to NASDAQ this morning as we honor their accomplishment as one of the most innovative and successful internet companies in recent history.
In 2004, Overstock sales had more than doubled to nearly $500 million. Its stock had tripled, but the high fives and champagne soon gave way to disbelief. From a high of $77.18 in December 2004, Overstock shares began tumbling. By December 2005, they collapsed to a low of $28.02. Byrne became convinced his shares were being manipulated, a conclusion also reached by Tom Ronk, the president of Buyins.net. Ronk sells data on short sales to companies and investors.
Overstock is the poster boy of naked short selling. What's interesting is that from January 1st, 2005, Overstock.com has been on the naked short list for 91% of the trading days. In that exact same period of time, over 86 million shares have been shorted in Overstock. How is that possible? It shouldn't be.
Ronk says naked short selling explains the huge decline in Overstock shares that January, when the stock fell 20% in just 1 month.
We have found very large drops in U.S. stocks in 1 month trading periods. So we're seeing that when they first come in and attack, they hit it hard. They really hit it hard because they can get away with it. And they cause the largest damage to the stock usually in the first wave of selling.
Overstock is just one of hundreds of companies considered at risk for manipulation by naked short sellers. They appear on stock exchange lists mandated by the Securities and Exchange Commission's Regulation Short Sales, or Reg Show. These threshold lists consist of companies with too many trades that can't be settled because stock is not delivered to the buyer, so-called failures to deliver.
I mean, some people use the phrase counterfeit stock to describe the phenomenon, that if you can sell stock and you never have to deliver, it's going to have the same impact as selling, selling, and selling. It's going to push the price down.
What is naked short selling?
Angel says not all failures are the result of traders trying to manipulate stock prices. Some may be caused by clerical errors. Overstock was on the first list of failed deliveries that U.S. exchanges released in January 2005. Along with Overstock were more than 240 other companies on NASDAQ's list. Among them, some familiar names: Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, Global Crossing, Netflix, Taser, and U.S. Airways. The New York Stock Exchange had nearly 60 companies on its list, including Delta Airlines, Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, Krispy Kreme Donuts, and Winn-Dixie Stores. And the problem is not going away. Since Reg Show took effect, more than 4,500 companies have been affected by stock delivery failures severe enough to qualify them as threshold securities. That's roughly 1 in 3 companies traded on U.S. exchanges, the majority of them with small or very small market caps.
I don't oppose hedge funds. I don't oppose short selling. I object to the accumulation of unsettled trades in our financial system.
Reg Show is supposed to restrict short selling in threshold securities. Once a company is on an exchange's threshold list, Reg Show requires prime brokers to settle any new trade failures after 13 consecutive trading days. But Byrne and other CEOs say the SEC's own data prove that Reg Show is failing to stop naked short selling. Companies including Overstock, Krispy Kreme, and Martha Stewart each have been on threshold lists for more than 400 trading days.
I can see no reason why sellers should be able to fail to deliver shares for years in name brand companies. It just doesn't make sense. It raises the question, what is going on here?
Patrick Byrne was convinced that illegal activity was responsible for the failures in Overstock trades.
There's people going to go to prison. There's nothing they can do to make me stop.
When we return, Byrne's fight would take him to a place that is one of Wall Street's best-kept secrets. But first, what naked short selling has in common with the producers.